This episode of the Empty Netters podcast is brought to you by our incredible sponsors, Labatt Blue Light. Without a doubt, the number one beer to drink, not just while you're watching hockey, but at any time of day, at any time of night. It has the most crisp, cool taste that you can ever expect to get from a Pilsner brewed fresh in Canada. What do you think about this beer?
Dan, I love it so much, and I do feel like it's having a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere I look, there's Labatt Blue. And I know these other beer companies, some of them are like, wait till something turns blue. I got news for you. Labatt's blue all the time, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Have a grab, and you're going to really, really enjoy yourself. You're going to feel the Canadian kindness right in every sip.
It's brewed into every sip, that's why. But you're absolutely right, man. It's born blue, and it tastes absolutely incredible. Labatt Blue Light believes in the fact that you don't need to sacrifice taste when you have a nice, light, crisp beer. And that's exactly what they do. They put unbelievable amounts of Canadian kindness and delicious taste into every single can, every single bottle, and every single tap. Guys, if you don't know where to get Labatt Blue, pop onto their store locator. Unbelievable element they got on that website. You can pump it in, type in your location, figure out where the closest Labatt Blue Lights are that you can go buy. You can find out what bars have it, where you can go and get a nice crisp Labatt Blue Light. But here's the deal. We're in the middle of the conference finals in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. There is no better beer to enjoy while you're watching some puck. So grab a Labatt Blue Light, put on some of your Labatt Blue swag that we are dripped out in, and enjoy the best tasting beer you could ever hope for while you're watching these hockey games, and then while you're just hanging around at the house or at the bar, because it is top-notch, top shelf, just like your favorite goals of these playoffs.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. We are back, baby, at the Empty Netters podcast. Look at me. I feel like I'm in the do lab right now.
Oh, that's.
I don't know what time it is. I don't know where I am. My head is spinning. My brain is mush. I got a concussion on Tuesday, and then we watched a hockey game that lasted about 17 blue moons. This is unbelievable. Game 1 of the conference finals. We got 4 overtimes. This shit is out of control, and we are back to pot it out. How do you feel?
Dude, you know what that reminded me of last night? Living on the East Coast and being up till 3 a.m. watching playoff games.
And you're just going like this, can you please just fucking end?
No, dude, no. Me and Brian were already talking about this. Once we hit 2 overtimes, I'm like this, 10,
Go
20,
more. Oh,
20,
yeah,
go,
yeah,
keep
yeah,
going.
yeah,
I hope they're still playing when I wake up.
Once you lose your mind,
Yeah.
you got to just go deeper down the hole. I wish that had been the West Coast game.
Yeah.
Because people would have been waking up for work on Friday and been like this, is this game still on?
Living?
And the answer would have been yeah.
Dude,
It was 2 a.m. for those people on
you
the East
know
Coast. It would have been
what
5.
fucking sucks too? When we were kids, I remember like, late playoff games and anything. I guess it probably was only hockey that went this long, but like I feel like there were some Red Sox games that went a billion extra innings or something. And I just remember Dad going to bed, and I'd be like, and our dad's a huge Boston sports fan, and I was like, what are you just going to bed, dude? The fucking Sox were in the 15th inning, the Bruins were in the 4th overtime. And it was just because he's an adult with a job in the morning and stuff. And I was just a little kid, and it didn't matter. And it was devastating that I was texting some of my friends that are East Coasters that are Panthers fans and Canes fans, because I got buddies in both areas, being like, are you watching this madness? And I got texted them this morning like, dude, I had to go to bed. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're adults now. That was really crushing.
That's a really tough realization.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you missed this, dude? And they're like, yeah, dude, I have work at 6 a.m. I was like, fair.
Fucking brutal. All right, listen, we've got to get into this game, but before that, we got some breaking news and we got some bending news.
Yeah, okay.
Let's start with the breaking news.
Yeah, I am sad. You go.
It has been reported that GM Kyle Dubas of the Toronto Maple Leafs will not be extended a new contract and will not be coming back to Toronto. How do you feel? What are your knee-jerk reactions to this?
I think I've said on this pod, and certainly to you both multiple times, in my opinion, he did everything you could have asked him to do this season. I saw a ton of comments about on the Leafs post about being like, he created the problem, which is fair. Like whatever cap situation they're in, he created. He's been at the helm for a while. Mm-hmm. Needing to splurge this year is on him, whatever. All I'm talking about is this season. It looked to me like they were a very, very good cup contending team. They were missing a few pieces. He went out and got every single one of those pieces. And we remember when we were doing the Where's Matthews segment, and you had one episode where you were like laying out the only scenarios he would stay, like losing the first round, he's leaving, win the cup, he's leaving, because he's like, job done, whatever. And it was this middle ground. To me, the Dubas thing was like, get out of the first round. If you get out of the first round, you keep your job. And I know you had said like, oh, if you get swept, did you even get out of the first round? And you might get fired anyway. And they got gentlemen spanked. So that kind of sucks too. Tough one for me though, dude. Teams often look that direction when you're in trouble. Coach, GM, bye. Yeah. And we said 2 episodes ago or whatever it was, where I'm like, maybe look inside, maybe look internally here. I'm surprised, not shocked.
Yes, I think that's the perfect way to say it. Surprised, not shocked is really spot on. I think this is a huge mistake.
Oh, cool.
I think Dubas has got a good thing going on. I think he's got a good relationship with those guys. If you were going to stick with those guys, I'm just surprised that you would let go of Dubas. I think he cares so much.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I really love every time it cuts up to him up in the box. He's losing his shit. He clearly loves this team. He wants their success. And I'm with you, man. We talked about it during the trade deadline. He did his job. He went out and got the pieces to get them out of the first round, and they got out of the first round. It sucks that they got the old gentleman's sweep, but I think he did enough to save his job. I would have been very curious to see what he would do now this summer. We talked about all those things with everyone says the core 4, but I think it's really the core 5. I would have loved to have seen what he would have done there. So I'm not shocked. I am surprised. I think he deserved another kick at the can, one more year. If you're going to give these players one more year, you're not going to give Dubas one more year. Like, Dubas made the moves to get you into that next round. But he'll get another job quick, dude. I think he is a great GM, and I think he'll land on his feet somewhere. It is going to be very, very curious who they bring in and then what happens. Because Keefe is gone, no doubt. Whoever they hire, Keefe is fired, and then I'll be curious to see if a GM comes in and fucking blows this shit up, or if they're just like, oh, yep, here are the guys, I'll make it work, and I'll be like, okay, dude, I bet you will.
That's what I was right about to ask you. Obviously, we had just said that I felt like Dubas needed to make some trades there, even if he stayed.
Mm-hmm.
But who do you think is more likely to rip that core in half?
Him.
A Dubas returning or a new GM coming in?
I think a Dubas returning. But that's not to say that I couldn't see
I think it's a new GM coming in.
Yeah, only because they have no attachment.
And right? You come in like, what am I just going to run the same? You like, it's when you get a new CEO at the company and you're like, we're all fired, obviously, because they're going to come in and clean house and bring in their guys. You know, like, I bet a new GM comes in and is like, fucking, I'm making the Leafs into what I see the Leafs as.
Do you think, though, that Toronto is such a volatile market that a new GM would be afraid of stepping in the door and being like this, hey, everyone, by the way,
Matthews is traded to the
Marner
Blackhawks.
is traded. Nylander is traded. Like, you would have anarchy on your hands with the fan base. So I could see it going both ways. But either way, yeah, I think that there is a chance now with Dubas out the door, there is a chance of big-time mix-up going on over there, which is pretty crazy.
Hell yeah.
All right, on to the bending news. This happened earlier this week, which is why it's not as breaking. The Yotes
I really liked that term. I didn't get it at first. Is that a thing everyone says?
No, I was just trying to have some fun.
That was good.
Bending news?
Yeah, because it's not breaking.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Me neither. I just got it this time.
I actually thought it was a hockey term. I just didn't know. I was like,
yeah.
The first time through, I was like, I don't know what that means.
Thanks, guys.
And then now I got it.
It's just trying to add some wordplay there.
That was wonderful.
Well, yes. Earlier this week, we learned that the Yotes, my desert dogs, might not be desert dogs anymore. They might not even be dogs anymore.
No, I guess you're right. Maybe they wouldn't. Yeah.
But can I read you something from the article? So the Arizona Coyotes were confident more than 2 decades of instability were coming to a close. A yes vote on a referendum for an entertainment district would allow the franchise to finally build its own arena. When Tempe voters said no in an election, the team was left in shock and with no clear path of the future. What is next for the franchise will be evaluated by owners and the National Hockey League over the coming weeks, Coyotes president and CEO Xavier Gutierrez said. So there were 3 ballots on this Tempe vote. to build this new entertainment center. I think it was a $2.3 billion entertainment district, not just the arena.
Yeah.
But it was going to give the Yotes a home. Seems like things were going pretty well at playing in Mullet. And by that, I mean being in Tempe. Tempe's got ASU. It's a good vibe, great bars, good environment, lots of fans, lots of sports entertainment, sports culture there. And it sounds like the Yotes were like, this is a lock. Like, we got this. We've got our home. And it got voted down, and now the Yotes might be leaving Arizona. I was really bummed to hear this news, and then weirdly really pleased to see how many people were upset.
Yeah.
Clayton Keller tweeting out like the face, like being like legit upset. And then we had Jans on Chiclet's Game Notes talking to Army, and Jans had played for the Yotes for a long time, and he was saying how he loves it there. The players love it there. He was like, I would say 90% of the guys in this league would love to play in Arizona. It's a great place to have kids, to start a family, to buy a home. And I'm surprised, dude. It's like, it's hard to say that after the last 10 years of just nonsense that's been going on with the Yotes. But I think it's fair to say that there's been nonsense going on because they've been bouncing around these arenas that aren't even theirs. And this was a chance to establish a home base. So I'm sad. I'm sad for them.
Super bummed. Obviously there's two sides to every story, and when you look at what was being promised, we put this on the story, but it's like jobs, tax benefits, like you said, apartments, hotels, everything. And the voters apparently were like, well, we think there's hidden tax. Where like the whole proposal was like, there's no burden, there's no tax. The taxpayers will not take this burden. And the voters were like, you're lying.
Yeah, bullshit.
And
$2.3
I don't know the answer. I'm not a real estate mogul. Yeah. I don't know the answer to that. But it sucks. I hear the world like, does Arizona need hockey? Like, I've had a lot of friends being like, oh great, the Cup's going back to Florida. You know, like, I get that big hockey fans don't necessarily love when these warm climate non-hockey regions have good hockey teams, but that's a cool city, and cool places can have cool sports teams. I think that's fun. My biggest sadness is I think it's cool that Matthews is from there, and then like Cutter Gauthier is from there, and there's a few other guys too that are in that region, and I'm like,
tons of guys train there.
Like, I love that when you're like, whoa, dude, it's coming a little hockey hotbed.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, why now, dude? Why? And the voters spoke. That's why now. But like, it felt like if you just kept the team there, we could see great talent from there in the future. Yeah. And that, I feel like the legs just got cut out of that.
I agree.
It's not over, by the way.
It's not over. I just did feel like Tempe was the spot. That would have been so fun, I think. Phoenix, Glendale, we've dabbled in that before, and it was kind of like, just go there. I think the Yotes belong in the NHL, personally.
Oh, yeah.
I think those jerseys belong in the NHL. I think that they belong in Arizona. I think Arizona is a cool spot to have hockey. My biggest thing, dude, I hate, with the exception of Quebec, I hate every single city that's being floated out there.
What do you got? I got a few for you.
There's been some people with talks of Hamilton in Canada, and I'm like, there's part of me that's like, oh, I respect like a new Canadian city, like that'd be kind of fun, Hamilton getting an NHL team, but like, no, I don't want that. Houston, fuck off. I like growing the game in Texas, but not Houston. Go to Austin, dude.
Yeah, fair.
Austin having a hockey team would be fucking electric. Yes. I mean, you see McConaughey getting involved with all the stuff going on in Austin FC. All of a sudden, you have an NHL team down in Austin. Keep it the Yotes, dude. The Austin Coyotes. That would be fucking sick.
McConaughey can buy them.
If you're going to Texas, go to Austin, is how I feel. Patrick Mahomes tweeted some shit like, oh, the Coyotes would look good in KC. If there is a fucking NHL team in Kansas City, I will puke.
Why? I don't hate that one.
Dude, like, I don't need some KC St. Louis fucking bullshit rival. Like, I despise that. I hate it with a fiery passion.
Great fans, though.
No, they're trash. Everything is trash about that.
Dude, that's wrong.
I'm so out on that crap fucking city. Get out of my face. Can't stand that at all. The other ones that have been floated, what are some of the other ones? Again, I like Quebec. And if they make them the Nordiques and they make them the Quebec Nordiques, that will be cool. I'm in.
I agree. That's not my top choice, but I can live with that. I saw Hamilton. I saw Halifax, which actually is so close to where we're from, and I was like, oh, cool, but like Halifax is tiny. That would be nonsense.
No way.
Quebec would be awesome. Casey.
Oh, I saw Salt Lake City.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, someone brought that up to us at hockey the other night. That's a fun town. I like that. I saw Portland, Oregon, which I think
Would not hate that
at all. Portland's a great city. The one con I saw was and this is up for interpretation, but it was like we just gave the Pacific Northwest Seattle. So
Yeah.
do you fracture that fan base? Because everyone in Portland's probably rooting for Seattle now, and you're like, oh, like the pro is it creates a sick rivalry, but the con is like we're trying to build that team,
Yeah.
and now you're like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever. I also saw Milwaukee, which has like the Bucks and the Brewers. Is that it? Right? I guess the Packers are close,
Yeah.
whatever. But like that, that's a hockey region.
A Wisconsin team would be cool.
So I was like, I could get down with that. But that was about, and I don't hate Casey. I don't hate Casey just because it's a proven sports city, big fan base. But those
So
are the
out.
only ones that I was intrigued by.
Are they a proven sports city, dude?
Yeah.
Fucking, they get Patrick Mahomes, and now there's a bunch of Chiefs fans. Blow me.
There have always been Chiefs fans,
That's
dude.
true.
There have always been Chiefs fans.
They've had Jamal Charles and Reece Thomas for a long time. That's fair.
God, they were goated.
Yeah.
That was sick. But yeah, so I could do Milwaukee, I could do Portland, I could do Quebec.
Keep them in Zona, and if not, go to Austin. That's my bid. That's my pitch to the NHL.
Okay. I like it.
That's that. All right, let's get into this game.
Let's do it.
Game 1, Eastern Conference Finals, Carolina Hurricanes, Florida Panthers. You couldn't have asked for anything better.
Unbelievable start.
I don't think that this game could have gone better. Credit to me. Shout out me. Picking that Panthers money line.
Dude, you know what brings a man great joy?
Tell me.
When the over-under is 5.5, you have the under, and it goes to OT at 2-2.
Oh, yeah.
That brings a man
Nice
great
feeling.
joy.
Nice.
You had like an hour to bask in it.
Dude, I literally...
True. You just like
no matter
lay
what
there
happens,
like,
all the chances, I was like,
so
that doesn't matter.
nice.
It doesn't matter. So yes, Dan, I agree. The Canes went up 1-0 in this game. Both teams coming in were undefeated in the playoffs this year when scoring first. So that was a big swing. They went up 1-0 on the power play. It wasn't quite a 5-on-3, but it was a few seconds after the 5-on-3 expired and still 5-on-4. And I have a couple things for you about that. The cross-check on Ekblad to make it 5-on-3
So trash.
was bullshit.
Yeah.
Especially a man down. Do you believe... I won't even state my opinion yet. I've always felt like in soccer, there's a thing that can happen that is a foul in the field that isn't a foul in the box because that would be a penalty.
100% agree with that.
Okay. And for me, and I know not everybody does, but I do too. For me, there are things that happen in a hockey game that are a penalty when you're even strength and are not a penalty when you're already man down. And that is exactly what that was.
100% agree. Yeah, I could not be with you more. To me, it's like overtime. There's things that aren't penalties in overtime either. And the fucking refs were calling penalties in overtime. I mean, I get there was over another game.
Yeah.
So maybe you had to call a few, but calling a penalty when a team's already man down, especially one just clear out the front of that, and that wasn't even hard,
dude.
Man. Like that was who was that on the Canes?
Remember,
because that was a fucking flop. First of all, and shame on you for flopping,
dude. It was like a little pop in the back,
and like you could see like he was just shaking his head, like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna gift them a goal here? Because if you don't score on 5-on-3, you need to go home and sit in a corner and think about what you've done. You fool." So you're essentially gifting them a goal, and while it was just after expired, it was because of the 5-on-3 that they scored. So yeah, I thought that was trash.
And I swear it was only like he hits him. It's like a flop or whatever. And by the way, to be clear, sometimes if you're not ready for it, I have been like, if you get surprised by like a pop in the back, you're on skates, dude. Like you can go down. So flop, whatever, surprised by it. But then he hit Bob, and like Bob went flying, and I feel like the ref was like, oh shit, Bob went flying, I got to call something, but it definitely wasn't on. Like he definitely got hit into him, so I'm just going to call Ekblad. And I was like, no, this is just a very simple get up, everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
I'm with you. I also thought the Gudis clear right before that was so pathetic. And I've got something to say about Gudis here. that play to me felt a little bit like the karma gods because Gudas is playing with fire.
He is, dude.
That guy has been a pest all playoffs. And then in game 5 against Toronto, he has a egregious hold on that stick of the defender in OT that leads to the Cousins goal. Then he screams in Wall's face. And all game this game, he's holding sticks. He's slashing people in the back of the legs. He's out of control. So that really limp dick rim around the boards.
Dude, no, but it wasn't even a rim, remember?
Oh, yeah, he went to go right up the middle.
It
That's
looked
right.
like, and I've been there, dude, when you're like, I've been on both ends of it, right? When you're power play point guy, you just want to keep it in so bad.
Yeah.
So you try to jump. I'm like, I know he's going to rim that. So I know Gudas was like, oh, Burnsy's probably cheating.
Yeah.
He's expecting the rim. So watch this.
Right up the middle.
I'm going to roll a backhand right through the
It was
slot.
just
And I was like,
flat,
are you fucking
flat
kidding?
and pus on
And
the
dude,
ice.
That was like such a heroic momentum kill. Like you just killed a fucking 5-on-3. And I was like, wow.
And then you give a beautiful slot pass.
Get it
to
out right
Burns
here.
on the
You win
point.
that game 8-0. And then he goes like this, dude. Here you go, just rolling one putt right up the gut, dude. And I was like,
So
literally
brutal.
everyone in the office was like, this is a goal.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh, my
second
God.
that puck got
It was a
rolled in the middle,
disaster.
blind, dude. He looked no look. That's
Yeah.
mite shit, bro.
Oh.
I couldn't believe that play.
That was
so
awful.
he got burned there on that one.
Yeah.
Sick rip by Jarvis though, not a big deal. Last thing I want to say about that, Carolina was 18.9% on the power play, was coming in 18.9% on the power play, was 2 for 12 in the second round, 16.7%. They went 2 for 6 last night. And Florida's PK was horrible against Boston. Horrible, but was actually over 80% against Toronto. So they're improving a little bit. Something to keep an eye on because Carolina's power play was bad all year. They'll be glad they got 2 last night.
Yeah,
they'll
gotta
be
feel good
mad
about
that's the only goals they scored. They got nothing even strength, and they'll be madder that they had 2 power plays in overtime. Admittedly, I think Jarvis hit the post in the one in the first OT.
Yes.
But when everyone is gassed in OT4, you have to score on the power play.
Dude, the amount of texts I got, because there was, correct me if I'm wrong, there were multiple times in that overtime stretch where it was 3-on-3.
Dude, no. Okay, so I was watching this. We'll get to the megacast in a second, but we had a hockey game last night. So
Yes.
Dan couldn't play because he was a little conky boy. And I went to the game. And it was one of those things like funny in the hockey world when you go to a beer league game and there's a sick playoff game on. Like
I want to correct what I was saying. I think you're about to say what I was saying. There was multiple times in that game where the TV and telecasts were saying 3-on-3.
Dude, so we're
Sorry,
sitting.
I'm concussed.
Yeah, we're sitting in the
I
rink.
was getting 1,000 texts being like, dude, I thought overtime wasn't 3-on-3, and I'm watching the game, which I shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not. What are you talking about? But like, I guess on Gamecast, it was saying 3v3.
Dude, so we were sitting there. We're all like in the locker
insane.
room or in the rink watching the TV for third overtime. It ends, and then we go into the locker room, and we all have the fucking. I'm like listening on the radio, on NHL app, and fourth OT starts, and it says 3-on-3, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, there's 2 penalties, and then Kit was like, there's no penalties on there, and our goalie was like, Parrish is like, did they switch to 3-on-3? Like once it gets to full, it's kind of like
Dude.
MLB where they're like, yo, put a guy in second, like let's get this shit over with.
I was genuinely second guessing everything in my life.
Same. I was
because
like,
I was
when the
watching
fuck did
the
that
game.
rule happen?
But then, like times I'd be looking away, I'd be like, "This, oh, maybe there's a bunch of penalties." But then there weren't penalties, and then people were like, "Did they change the rules this year?" And I was like, "No." And then I was like, "Wait, do I not know that they changed the rule?" It was mayhem,
Dude,
So
at one point-
NHL app, clean that up.
At one
dude.
point,
You were
there
confusing the
was
shit out
like
of people.
17 minutes left on my broadcast, and it said 3-on-3, but I was just I was like game casting, and then Kit pulls it up on his screen. He's like, dude, there's 5 guys out here. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. But then I saw Kit was a little behind. And then on cue, Florida took that penalty. Verhaeghe took that hooking penalty. And I was like, wait, are 4 penalties literally about to be called in the next 30 seconds? And then we were like, no, this is all bullshit. But
Insane.
That was rattling. And for guys that are drunk on long OT games, I'm glad they're not fucking with that because keep playing forever, please and thank you. But yeah, that was confusing as fuck.
Confusing as fuck. All right. Well, like Chris said, we were on the NHL Megacast last night, which was an absolute blast. Shout out to that gang. That was so much fun. Can't wait to be back.
Shout out to everyone for watching too. That was awesome.
That was
appreciate the
awesome.
Comments and keep it up.
In the second period, Panthers tied it up. And like you said, Chris, the big boys were getting on the board. Really unbelievable play by Duclair on the boards.
Again, dude.
Yes. I said it last series, dude. This kid is a killer right now. Digs the puck out, dishes it over to Barkov for a goal. You know who had the assist on that? Secondary assist on that
I don't know.
Verhaeghe.
Yep.
And then
Oh yeah, I did know that.
Verhaeghe,
The Grim Reaper.
the Grim Reaper himself, dude, comes in, pots the go-ahead goal. They go up 2-1, and then like CP said, Canes tie it in the third on another power play goal, 2-2.
Silky power play.
Yes,
goal.
it was. But then we head into overtime.
Dude, I wanted to tell you this.
This, to me, before you say that,
Yeah.
felt like we always talk about, and people into hockey always talk about, win the overtime in the first minute. Just jump out hard and win. I would have put every cent I own that these two sound, scrappy teams would have taken care of business immediately. But then it turned out that their sound and scrappy gameplay just equalized each other for literally an extra hockey game and then some.
And they kind of did. We'll get into the goalie interference, but like they kind of did, like take care of it immediately. And then they're like, not so fast, my friend.
Yes.
So, dude, Kane scored that power play goal with 16:13 left in the third to tie it. Matty Tkachuk didn't score till there was 12.7 seconds left in the fourth overtime. That was 96 minutes of game clock later. So I've seen...
Man, you know what, dude? We always talk about how hockey's growing. It's getting more and more popular. But we need to keep growing the game. We need to keep normalizing hockey, making sure people understand how awesome the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are. When shit like this happens and people come out of the woodwork to text me, it makes me so happy.
I know.
Because I'm like, yes, you guys are in. You guys are liking this more than you think. And dude, 4 OTs in the NHL is fucking so fun.
I've seen a lot. So I'm going to do a similar bit, but I've seen a lot of that game was 5 hours and 46 minutes of real time. Here's what you could have accomplished in 5 hours. And it's like flight from LA to Boston, like whatever. But I actually like the game clock. It was 96. And this is not the whole game, dude. This is between goals. Like they tied it and then it was won 96 minutes of game clock later. So I'm going to give you some movies that are 96 minutes or less runtime.
Okay. Okay.
A Quiet Place, 90 minutes. Moonrise Kingdom, 94.
Oh my God.
Old School, 88. Toy Story, 81. Shockingly quick movie. I didn't
That's a
realize
short-ass movie.
Zombieland, 88. Anchorman, 94. Monsters, Inc., 92. Taken, 90. Friday, 91. 12 Angry Men, 96. 500 Days of Summer, 95. Dude, you could watch this entire movie
After
game time.
After the second Kane's goal was scored,
Before Matty
I could have pressed play on any one of those movies, finished it.
only while the game was on too. Like pause the movie during commercials. Pause the movie during.
There's a whistle.
Yeah,
every time
pause
there's a
the
whistle,
movie, every
pause.
whistle.
And I would have finished the game.
This entire movie, and then Tkachuk scored.
Quick shout out, Taken. That's a clean 90 minutes.
Yeah, here's one I put on for this list. This is just for you, Frank. 95 minutes.
Dude,
anyone that hasn't seen Frank,
Brian, Frank is a fucking sick movie.
I don't think I've seen that.
you never even heard of it, dude. It's
Frank is a Michael Fassbender movie with Maggie Gyllenhaal and Donald Gleason.
just pull up the fucking art, the poster art.
It's a movie about a indie rock, or more like a indie, not even rock band. It's more like a
yeah, dude.
yeah. Donald Gleason's
but look at the one
an
next to that
aspiring
one.
musician, and he joins this band where the lead singer of the band is Michael Fassbender, who wears a giant papier-mâché head.
The whole time.
Whole movie.
Dude, it's like you get Michael Fassbender in a movie, you're like, your face, not in it.
Not in it, dude. Put this head on the entire time.
Incredible.
That's good fun. That's a wild stat, dude.
You can watch this whole movie
Of game
just
time.
game
Just
time,
game
dude.
time. Yeah, that's absolutely bonkers. Dude, okay. So going into OT, you found the stat, which is fucking amazing. Panthers 4-0 in playoff overtimes and have won 7 straight OT games since 2021.
Ridiculous stat.
The Canes are 3-0 in playoff overtimes and have won 7 straight OT games since 2021.
Both undefeated this year. Both have won 7 in a row
So,
since 2021.
You've got
Ridiculous.
You've got these two teams coming into this OT as confident as possible. It's not surprising that they went this long. But we got to talk about the goalie interference. Like you said, immediately into OT, Panthers score. This was goalie interference. Yep. I think this was the right call. I think it's hard to dispute. That's one where I was like, this didn't take too long. It actually kind of took a little bit long. But there was no controversy. I don't even think angry Paul Maurice could have had anything to say about this.
He was angry.
That was like a clear goalie interference. There was not a good effort made to get out of the way of Anderson. It knocked Anderson off his axis, and then a puck gets put in an open net because Anderson's just straight up out of his
I have a fucking spicy take
Here,
about
Navy
this,
SEALs,
dude. I have
3
one
rules for
counter.
surviving a real-world assault.
His foot, Colin White's foot hits Freddie's right skate, 1,000%. And Colin White at the time is not being pushed into Freddie Anderson's right skate. I know there's a Canes defender right there, but that was on Colin White just trying to get to the blue paint. There's a defender there, but that's not him being pushed. Absolutely. But someone has it. I forget. It's not. Maybe it is Lomberg, but like someone passes it to the front. Like Freddie's over to the left, right, looking on the wall, and someone passes it to the front towards Lomberg, and then Freddie pushes right, and the skate clips kind of just before he pushes right. Like he's still to the left. You feel the skate clip, and then Freddie launches right, even though the puck's kind of right in the slot. Obviously, he has to push that way anyway. But all I'm saying is, watch this right here. We're watching the replay. To me, he's like, he feels that contact and then is looking for that.
But
contact,
I think it's the connection on the blocker and the stick too that pulls him, like that his body's getting pulled.
But his body should be getting pushed that way, if anything.
What are you talking about, dude? Like he's getting his top half is getting pulled down. He's like pancaking. He's not sliding. He's falling forward.
Okay.
And also, dude, if I'm a goalie and an opposing player comes in my crease and fucks with me, I would stop playing.
Right. Well, that's all I'm arguing. I'm not saying it's the wrong call. I think it's the right call, but I'm saying he is doing what you're saying. Like I think Freddie felt that and goes like this. Okay, I'm gonna get the goalie interference here because like fuck this, get out of my face.
There's 2 different skate contacts there, and then full upper body contact. That's fucking goalie interference. It's not even debated.
No, I'm not debating it. It is goalie interference. I'm saying he made sure it was.
As is his right, dude. It's his job.
I just think he wants that
good
contact,
call.
dude. He is not getting pushed down like that. Fall
He's not
forward.
getting pushed down, but if you think White is making clear contact with his elbow, butt end of his stick, blocker, and paddle of his stick, if you don't think that that's making him tip over, you're an idiot.
No, he's flop. That's a flop.
It's both, dude.
He's flopping all over the place, dude. He wants that contact.
I've had
and that's a dangerous game, but friendo. Because, dude, if you don't get that call, you just lost the game.
Looking like LeBron last night.
Dude, he's looking like
Truly, dude.
LeBron up in here, dude.
So anyway, that gets called back, rightfully so, and the game continues. We go into 4, almost into 5 overtimes. Absolute nonsense going on in this game. We had posts, we had pipes, we had butt ends, we had unbelievable saves. So much shit that kept this game going. But I want to talk about my boy. I have been riding Brandon Montour all playoffs. This kid has been unbelievable, lights out for the Panthers. And in this game, he had a game high 57 minutes and 27 seconds of ice time. That's almost an hour
Dude, that
of ice time across.
is moronic.
Yeah. Brandon Montour, 57 minutes and 27 seconds of ice time across 65 shifts. What was the score of that game?
3-2.
Brandon Montour was a +3 on the night.
Wow, I didn't know that. That is fucking lit.
And he logged the 10th most playing time by a skater in NHL history.
Wow.
This kid has been a killer for the Panthers all playoffs, and then he comes into game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals and puts out that performance. That is some big boy shit, dude.
That's really cool. The +3 is
Electric. Dog. Oh, dude. He's a dog.
wow. Okay, agree with that. I will say, you brought up the crazy chances. Verhaeghe had a monster chance. I almost had to take his Grim Reaper nickname from him when he missed that shot. Like Chuck snuck that one across to him, and the puck was like rolling on him, and he put it on frame. Like Freddie paddled it, which is just like devastating. But that's a goal for Verhaeghe. Like of all people, I was like, he's obviously scoring this. We got the goal from Maddie, which was actually sick to see him get on the board.
I said that on the Megacast, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to show up big in this.
That was fucking fantastic. And that's a rip, dude. Like, I don't even know how he does that. Like that puck's so in tight. You know, he's like, Burnsy's right in his face. He's got it right here. And
He
it's just
dragged it around the back of the skates of Burns.
And almost like scoops it. Like the way they tell you to not hit a golf club, like let the loft do it. He's like scooping that up. Yeah.
It was so impressive.
Really sick.
I also loved how when he tucked, he immediately was pointing to the gate. He was like this, we got to go to bed.
Dude,
everyone get out of here. We got to go to bed.
The two things I want to say about that play were, one, my knee jerk when I saw it with 10 seconds, dude. And I know it's kind of tough, but anyone that's played sports, I actually got reamed out one time because I was playing in college and I changed up with like 20 seconds left. And nothing that bad happened, but I just was like tired and I just came to the bench. I had a long shift and I kind of lost track of the clock. And Lefty, remember the coach I had, Lefty, the Olympic dude? He was like, don't you ever change with under 30 fucking seconds left. Like, wake up. Just stay on the ice. And Burnsy, there was 10 seconds left. Like, that puck's in the corner. I know he's kind of getting forechecked, but it would not have been that hard to just eat that. Like, just pin it against the wall and just get out of this period. So when I saw him kind of like, he had a guy there, but he just like nicks it up the boards. They lose it, bang, Kachuk, goal. And my knee jerk was like, that's so lazy, Burns. But I was like, well, you have also logged 54 minutes or whatever. Of course you're being lazy. It was 16 mad at you that I got fired up there. But you were right. That is one of my favorite celebrations in all of sports, dude. The later, like literally score, run. It happens in basketball a lot too, like hit the buzzer beater and they just run down the tunnel. I was actually mad.
It's looking like the wonders, dude, and that thing you do. Unplug, get off stage, smiling.
Someone even grabbed him. I forget who the first Panther was that grabbed him. But like Maddie's literally like, no, let me go. Like I'm trying to leave.
It was funny. In real time, I saw it go in. I thought he was pointing at Bob. I thought he was being like, go get Bob. He just stood on his fucking head. But instead, he was like this, everyone go to sleep.
Go home. Everybody go home.
Get on the bus and go home. We got to go to bed.
Oh, God, that was awesome. I thought he was. Funny. I actually, knee-jerk, thought he was pointing. I was like, oh, he's doing the leave. He's doing the leave because we were watching on the bench. But then the dude grabbed him and I was like, oh, no, he must be pointing at something else. But then he like slips out of him and he's like, no, I'm leaving.
Get out of here.
That was fucking great. I really got fired up about that. Okay, I have a couple questions for you about the whole thing.
Hit me.
I thought the Panthers were getting stronger as the game got longer.
Dude, I've got something to say about this. There's something going on in South Florida that I don't know if it's bath salts. I don't know.
Very likely.
I don't know if it's global warming, but there are zombies in Florida. You are seeing it with the Miami Heat, and you have been seeing it with the Panthers. They're zombies. And I said several episodes ago, they are World War Z zombies. You can't kill them. As you get more tired, they don't. They just keep breaking you down. And the shots was like they were getting bombarded in the third period. And then
14-2 Canes in the third.
Yeah, I mean, that is insane to withstand that. And then it just slowly started evening out. And then I think in the fourth, they waxed the Canes, and it was
OT1, 7-5 Canes, OT2, 10-10, OT3, 11-8 Cats, OT4, 14-9 Cats.
They will not die, dude. They will not die. And if you let that team hang around for 4 OTs, you will lose. And that's what happened.
Dude, they're eating more and more brains and
correct.
just getting stronger and stronger.
It's insane.
I thought both goalies were excellent.
Oh, my God.
63 saves for Bob, 57 saves for Freddie. The one major benefit of the Carolina goalie situation is you could go to Ronta here if you want. That's whatever we said at 4 OTs is not easy on the 34-year-old knees of Bob or the 33-year-old knees of Freddie. And but under no circumstances anyone playing Bob in Florida.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I can't believe what a little bitch you've become as far as load management with goalies these playoffs.
Protect our goalies. Protect our goalies.
All you've talked about, dude, is fucking, well, we should probably rotate these goalies more. We should probably do more of a tandem situation. Maybe, dude, this guy just got a huge win. Should we sit him down? Get out of here, dude. What are you, the fucking head of the goalie protection committee?
I'm sorry that I'm ahead of the curve, dude. In 10 years from now, goalies are going to be rotating by period. And everyone will remember that I was here first. Teams are going to have 3 goalies dressed, and each one's going to play every period.
Do you have any idea how pissed I would be if I were Frederik Andersen and I just put out a 57 save performance in a 4 OT loss, and you went like this? We're sitting you down, bud.
Protect our goalies.
Would fucking kill someone.
I bet they go Ronta game 2. Freddie needs a break, dude. Freddie needs a break. Give Freddie a break.
Go on. Keep going.
Well, I was going to ask you, what would you do? But you would obviously not give Freddie a break.
Freddie just played out of his gourd. Absolutely not. You do not sit him down.
He's exhausted.
He is
Okay, but then here's
fine.
my last and biggest thing about this game. As I was watching it, I was like, I'm having a thought, who does this hurt more? Anytime you lose a marathon game, it sucks. Whoever loses that marathon game, you're like, God damn it, dude. But as I was watching, I'm like, who does this hurt more? Who does this hurt more? And to me, it's clearly the Canes because you're at home. You give up home ice, and you've been
Only your second loss at home these playoffs.
and third in the last 2 years
Yep.
at home. And Florida is, I think now counting that one, 7-1 on the road this playoff. So now you're
Correct.
like, what if they fucking pop me in game 2 and you're in a Devils situation? It's not good. When you lose the 2 home games in a playoff series to start it, we call it in hockey, we call that not good. So might happen.
It's pretty unique to hockey
Yeah,
too.
I
Other
love-
sports can't really relate to that. But
I love
losing,
the hockey lingo, but it's not good.
it's not good.
And they're like Carolina, like you said, Dan, has an immaculate record at home.
Yeah,
Some people don't
I
trust
do.
people with an immaculate record.
I have an immaculate record.
I do. I have an immaculate record. But they have an immaculate record at home, and you get hit in the mouth by the Panthers.
Dude,
So
Rod
if
the
you-
Bod said in his post-game interview, he's like, these are the worst games to lose.
Yeah.
It is absolutely devastating. When you go to battle, dude, you go to war, you've sharpened your bayonets, you've stocked up on your gunpowder, you've been doing target practice in the backyard for months, and then you come out and you go to war for 3 periods and then 4 overtime periods, and you lose. It is as big of a kick in the dick as you could ever expect.
So, A, do you agree that hurt more for Carolina than it was ever going to hurt for Florida? And B, if you agree, what do you do? What do you say if you're Carolina? What are you saying in the locker room?
I think listen, losing that game, I don't care about home ice, sucks. It hurts so bad. No doubt it hurts more for Carolina because it was at home. And I don't think the records thing is in their heads that much. Like, I don't think anyone on that Carolina team after that puck went in is on the bench going, fuck, dude, that's our second loss at home these playoffs. They're not thinking that. They're just going, God fucking damn it, dude. Like, that was a battle. Losing battles like that sucks.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And then the realization of we lost at home, that sucks. We lost game 1 at home. You got to get game 2 now. So yeah, it is worse for Carolina. I think you bounce back like they've done all playoffs. I mean, they haven't faced that much adversity as we talk about all the time. It's, they took care of the Islanders in 6. They took care of Toronto handily in 5.
Devils.
Devils handily in 5. And yeah, I don't think that they've had their backs up against the wall yet. This is the first time they've been down all playoffs.
Ooh, good call. Yeah.
But I think Rod has a great grasp on that locker room. I think the
Dude.
players have a great grasp on that locker room. I think that they're like, dude, that was brutal. I think you acknowledge it. I think you go, that fucking sucked. But we're amazing on home ice. We've got this. Come out and play our game. Big question is,
Do you start Freddie?
no. The big question is, do you start Teravainen?
Oh, dude, you didn't like his game?
No, I'm just joking.
I was like, fuck. He almost. You
It's
know
the
what?
bunting thing. He's defeated in the playoffs.
Yeah, Natchez had a breakaway with 7. Fucking Bob and his
Oh my God.
late third period breakaway saves. And that was a good save. Natchez had a breakaway that Teravainen assisted, and as that was happening, I was like, oh wow, because I know you had been talking about I bet he gets a point, and I was like, here it is. I agree. We had talked earlier. I think it was the Toronto Lightning series when Toronto won game 2 7-0 or whatever it was, 7-1. And I was like, dude, John Cooper's in that locker room. The mission was steal 1 in Toronto. We did. I don't care if we lose game 2, 1-0 or 7-0.
Yep.
Rod the Bod and everyone in Carolina is going, I don't care if that we lost in 10 overtimes or if we lost 10-0. We lost a game. It's 1 game. We're down 1 game. Who cares? One thing that I didn't realize that is a sick snipe by you is this is the first time Carolina has been down in a series in 2 years. Because I'm pretty sure they were up against Boston the whole time last year, and then they were up against New York the whole time until they lost Game 7 at home. But then you're just out. So the same way I was kind of talking about, I'm interested to see Florida play with a tight butthole in Toronto, but we never got to see it. I'm interested to see Carolina play with a tight butthole in Game 2 because that one is a big one.
Yeah, definitely. And I will tell you this: my closing thought is, as much as I think you're a little bitch boy, if you lose game 2 at home and Freddie starts, I think then you do have you ask a question.
What if they lose 1-0 and he plays disgusting?
I would start him. But I if Ranta's right there, because they do have that interesting situation of like, I mean, Freddie's been the better goalie.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
yeah.
To me, you've got your goalie for the rest of playoffs, personally. But
What if the Panthers win game 2 27-0 and Freddie's in for every goal?
I'd probably sit him down. Probably.
I don't know, dude. Like, now he's seen everything.
Yeah, he's like this.
They emptied
I know
their bag.
every single way you guys can score on me.
Yeah.
You won't do it again.
Prove it,
Good
dude.
All right, is that it for you?
That's it for me. Unbelievable start to this series.
Oh, my
Unbelievable
God.
start to the conference finals. I think both of these series are going to be absolute fucking tilts, so I'm pumped for the game tonight.
This was as good of a start as we could have ever asked for. I think a lot of people were so surprised. We talked about on the Megacast, like no one had this game on their bingo card, but could you have asked for a better game, a more electric game? I think these two teams are going to be so fun to watch night in and night out. And kicking it over to the West tonight, I think it's going to be the same deal. Look for fucking fireworks tonight. So lock in, folks. We've got some fun-ass hockey headed your way, and we'll see you next week.
Skate hard.